In Molière's 17th century play, The Trickeries or The Impostures of Scapin, the titular character attempts to save two young couples from having their fledgling marriages destroyed by the alternative arrangements of the boys' respective fathers. Scapin is a trickster who habitually lies to achieve his goals. His name perhaps derived from Italian scappare, to escape, making Scapin a French rendering of scapino, or little escape artist. During one scene, Scapin is addressing the valet of one of the sons and, we can assume in service of some deceitful scheme, instructs him thus. My French is terrible, but I'll give it a go. Capet-toi sur un pied, mets les mains à côté, fais les yeux furibonds, marche un peu, un roi de théâtre. Awful. That's terrible, but let's see the English version. Camp about on one leg, put your hand on your hip, wear a furious look, strut about like a drama king. Thus, from Molière, we get perhaps the first usage of camp as connected imagistically with strut about like a drama king. That's not far off from how Susan Sontag, in her seminal essay on the subject 300 years later, understood it. The way of camp is not in terms of beauty, but in terms of the degree of artifice, of stylization. Scapin would surely agree. The Oxford English Dictionary, meanwhile, defines camp matter-of-factly, especially of a man or his mannerisms, speech, etc., flamboyant, arch, or theatrical, especially in a way stereotypically associated with some gay men. Defining camp directly like this seems antithetical to its essence, an irony Sontag relates when she wonders if she's producing a very inferior piece of camp by dealing with the subject too literally. Then again, it seems camp has always been possessed by such dualisms. It comes to English from the French not once, but twice, giving us two meanings, as referenced in this essay's title, and perhaps leading later to the confusion about their relation. The first instance of camp arrives in the 1520s, as a noun, meaning place where an army lodges temporarily. This goes back to Latin campus, open field, level space. From this we developed usages like military camp and college campus and campsite. It didn't take long for the noun to become a verb. By the 1540s, camp, to encamp, establish, or make a camp, could be found. This first meaning of camp, whether as a noun or verb, led some to believe that camp, strut about like a drama king, had some relation to camp, army lodgings. Anthony Burgess has argued that it might be derived from a literal camp, as in a military or mining camp, in which the all-male society might lead gay men to advertise their availability through an exaggerated pseudo-femininity. The subversiveness of particularly repressed hetero-military culture, giving birth to particularly expressive gay drama, is too fun to resist. Perhaps it's even true, as if that matters. Both Etymology and the Oxford English Dictionary list camp, in the sense of flamboyant, as being of uncertain origin. However, they both also seem to believe it is more likely derived not from camp, military lodgings, but from French camper, to portray, pose. English speakers saw the two camps and put them together, thinking the gay culture camp, to strut about like a drama king, had naturally come from the all-male camp of army lodgings. But it seems the two meanings, while sharing an ancestor, likely came to English independently from different usages, an outcome I personally find more interesting. The second time camp came to English, then, it was connected to an even more metaphorical spirit due to the complexities of the French verb camper. Perhaps these complexities are what has made the English camp so elusive, allowing it to accumulate nuance and breadth and resist a strict ontology. French camper can be translated as to pose, or to depict, or to stand, or as still other verbs. It has more range than the English equivalent. We do not say, that's a fun camp, as in pose, which is how Molière used it, though in verb form. Indeed, that's a fun camp in English would mean something closer to, that's a fun place I went to one summer when I was a kid, war, or that's a fun gay man, roar. Nor do we say in English, the painting is a fantastic camp of your features, where camp means something like depiction or portrayal. Nor do we say, I tried to convince him of our perspective on the issue, but he camped, as in he stood his ground. Yet, in French, all these meanings are attested. Let's imagine for a moment that we could use camp the way French use camper. We could speak and write in more varied ways, though to make it less absurd to English audiences, we would have to explicate. For example, to use camp to depict, we could say the author camped so many minute details of the scene. This would strike English readers as bizarre. To make it work, we would have to render the metaphor much more explicit, such as the author wrote so many details of the scene in such a perfectly realized way. The passage was like a campsite, open field, campus I could explore minutely. That long-winded description is captured in quick subtlety by the French camper, and to depict 20 expressive pages where everything is striking and compact. The closest we come in English to something of the complexities with which the French camper can be used is when we say he camped out until the weather got better, meaning he stayed put. And yet, a revelation strikes me here, staying put is precisely the through line of all camp. Staying put is the unifying image. It allows camp to simultaneously convey open field, military lodging, where I attend college, place we sleep while in the woods, pose, depiction, stance, flamboyant display, et al. Each of these requires staying put. If I may theorize on this for a moment, if I may camp for a bit, we can think of Molière as using camp to mean stay put. And so even when Scapin, in a different clause, commands the valet to strut about like a drama king, the movement of this strutting should not be understood as fluid, as that would negate the camp of it. In Sontag's lexicon, it would become beauty instead of artifice. Rather, the theater Scapin, the little escape artist, teaches, the theater of camp, is a series of dramatic postures. Imagine it, to escape by staying still. Is that not so much more subversive? This does not mean camp is slow or frozen. It implies merely that underneath the illusion of movement, there is a more discrete succession of stillnesses, fleeting in a tease of catch me if you can, or hanging in a much too long how dare you. Yet, even more than that, discrete should be understood here to mean quantized, not unnoticed. Indeed, the succession of stillnesses that constitute camp is less like the magic of an effective kineograph and more like the mystery of the clinamen of atoms, which Epicurus believed was responsible for human freedom. Camp is not trying to convince you its parade of poses is a believable motion. Camp dawns abruption proudly, wills its fundamental particles into yet another, never-seen-before swerve. Its celebration is of many open fields, thrown at the viewer one by one. Its escape to freedom found in many stayings put. Motion, change, decay, death, all inevitable and constant, yet camp resists them. It does this not through jagged dance, but with a pantomimed protest whose eternal garb is the dramatic strut, an erection of the illusion of the photographic still. Camp dares to perform before our gaze a neglected truth. The hidden mechanic of every moment of our lives is merely a more powerful vogue. Many poses, many stances, many depictions, many camps. Hello everybody, thanks for listening to this video essay. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to try to make more, fingers crossed. I'm on antidepressants now. They seem to be working, so hopefully productivity is on the way. All right, bye.